Hey, it's Mark here, and today we're talking about the top reasons accounting firms get fired. So let's kick it off like this.
You walk into a cafe looking for your coffee fix. The baristas are all over the place. One is busy updating her social media and you can't seem to get her attention. So you spend 15 minutes trying to choose from their 20 different coffee varieties. When you finally find one that looks good, you're not sure what it actually tastes like and it costs more than you expected, but it'll have to do, so you buy the bag of beans and leave.
Okay, so now let's compare that scenario to this one.
You walk into a different cafe. The barista greets you at the door and guides you to their assortment of beans. Along the way, this person offers alternative varieties and recommendations to make sure it's the slightly sweet, medium roast variety that you really enjoy. She even lets you try a sip. You take the package back to the cashier, pleased with both the service and the price. You decide to stick around to enjoy a cup.
Okay, so here are the top 5 reasons why accounting firms get fired and what you can do to avoid it.
Number 1, poor communications. What might seem like a timely response to you may not be the same expectation for your client. At a minimum, aim to return all calls and emails within 24 hours. Even better, set expectations to include a communications clause in your initial engagement letter. The truth is, client attention spans are just getting shorter and shorter, and today's consumers are almost conditioned for instant gratification, especially millennials.
Click on the Show More button below for a link to my notes on the best practices guide to engagement letters for accountants, including over 25 examples. You can download and just copy and paste for your own firm.
Number 2, slow responsiveness. Imagine you're waiting to hear the results of a test from your doctor, and even though the results came in weeks ago, it wasn't until you called to remind her that she finally gave them to you.
Okay, so that's obviously a very bad experience, but there are a lot of accountants that have their out-of-office replies on their emails, saying that it can take up to a week for them to actually, respond during busy season. So there are a lot of ways to fix this, but having worked with thousands of firms over the years, it's best to have a dedicated resource for communications, preferably a real human.
The good news is that you can hire a virtual accounting assistant for as little as $4 to $12 an hour from the Philippines. This is a growing trend now in the accounting industry, and from personal experience, it works particularly well since Filipinos speak English as one of their official languages and are very friendly and easy to work with. Not only can they help you be more responsive, but they can make a valuable part of your extended team, especially if you're looking to grow your virtual accounting practice.
Click on the Show More button below for a link to my notes on how to hire a virtual assistant for your accounting firm.
Number 3, fees. Charges for phone calls, meetings, and even photocopies make clients feel like they're being nickeled and dimed to death sometimes and discourage them from wanting to contact their accountant. Firms that only charge a fixed rate basis helps both parties regularly communicate. This eliminates the fear of clients being charged for questions they may feel are not important but lead to other more significant questions. When you open the communication channels, this naturally leads to offering a higher value service like tax planning or client advisory services.
Click on the Show More button below for a link to see a platform that I highly recommend for letting you accept payments online without your clients having to pay the expensive ACH fees.
Number 4, lack of value. Complaints about costs usually mean that clients don't see the value for their fees. This happens when they perceive the relationship as purely transactional. For example, your firm does taxes for a client every year. The client sends you the documents, you file the taxes. The client doesn't necessarily understand the expertise and skill involved in providing this service unless you're collaborating throughout the year to address tax strategies and changes.
My team here at Bookjail literally wrote the playbook on this topic, so click on the show notes below to get the playbook on how to win on value and not price.
And number 5, an uncaring attitude. Unfortunately, many accountants do the bare minimum when it comes to compliance work, and that never allows the door to open for more proactive work like planning. Show that you care by teeing up a more proactive relationship where you can work with them throughout the year and get to know them better personally so that come tax time, there are no surprises.
See the show notes below for a script that you can use to turn a once-a-year tax conversation into a more proactive relationship. It's just 20 seconds and it works like magic every time. Okay, so that's it for today's video. So be sure to click the subscribe button below and the bell so you can be the first to get notified on tips, tricks, and strategies for becoming a high profit entrepreneurial accountant.